Hey everyone, today we're going to one of the Amethyst mines that they have in Ontario. I think there's 3 or 4 of them that are in close proximity to each other. This one right here is Diamond Willow Amethyst Mine. Okay, Google's telling me to go right, but it looks like we're supposed to go left. Wait, there's 2 of them. These are both different amethyst mines. Okay, we're gonna go to them both. We've been to neither of these ones. We did go to a amethyst mine. What was it called?
The Amethyst Panorama Mine.
Okay, we went to that one a couple weeks back when we were up here in northern Ontario, and we've got a couple large pieces of it that were pretty cheap because they're meant to be in gardens, just big hunks. And I want to try to get a few smaller pieces here to rock tumble now that I've got into that myself. So we're going to look here, we'll go to that other mine that's on the same road, and then we got to go back out to the Trans-Canada Highway, and about a half an hour away is another one. It's 3 o'clock, we have 2 hours. Are we going to make it to all these mines in the same day? Maybe, maybe not. If not, we'll go tomorrow. They close at 5. All of them seem to close at the same time. But let's see what we got in here. There's an old school bus up there being used as a shed. That's pretty cool. But you never know until you try. That's why we're going to go to the other ones instead of just going to the same place as last time. We'll see what they got here. So we went to the Amethyst Panorama Mine a couple weeks back, and this one here I honestly think I'm going to end up liking it better. So he gave us these buckets. He said you can fill it up level with the top. They don't weigh it or anything. $40 Canadian or 30 American. And he had a bunch of really cool rocks with veins and stuff in it. You may have seen my video where I bought a few pieces at the mine last time, the other mine. But this place, they're a lot cooler what he has down there in the shop. I don't know if we'll find anything cooler up here, but it has like veins in it in the middle of the rocks. They're more solid and held together. He also taught us the ones that look rusty can clean up, and they look really, really shiny after you use rust remover. So here he said he has 3 acres of everything they pull out of the mine. The mine is down in the fenced area. I want to definitely take a look at that. But yeah, this looks really cool. The other mine we went to has a lot bigger pieces. This is a lot smaller, but I think there are going to be bigger pieces here somewhere, since they had them in their rock shop, and he said everything came out of this mine. But we're here just to look around, and here you're allowed to use hand tools. You can borrow them, or you can bring your own crowbars, hammers, sledgehammers. They just ask you wear safety protection. They used to let you use power tools, they said, but their insurance doesn't like it, so just hand tools for now. The other mine we visited did not allow you to hammer anything. It's pretty cool, the mine. He said they blast a few times a week. See the blast mat? It's really cool. This is more of a private operation compared to the other store, but I think I like it a lot better. Well, I'm gonna have some fun looking around, look for some cool rocks that I can throw in the rock tumbler here. I find rocks from different places very interesting because we don't have anything like this around where I live. You can see here the indents. There was a beautiful piece that got pulled off of that. There was a pretty nice piece I found on the side of the road up there. I probably should have grabbed it. I might on the way back. The best piece I've seen so far, I left there because I thought I'd find even better. Look at that. Looking for things that might polish up nice. Look at this piece. That's got some good stuff on it. This stuff's very, very sharp. They said it'll puncture tires. So they said if you pick up any pieces not to leave it out in their road. Here's a couple of interesting pieces that someone else had just laid out here. So this is what I found so far. This white piece of amethyst has some pretty cool pattern in the rock. Should I tumble it or leave it the way it is? I don't think I'm gonna fill the whole bucket. I like how this mine is. I like how you can smash things and the way they have you fill the bucket for 40 bucks. But I do think I'm gonna find at this mine and the other mines, each one's different for different types. Like here, everything's really small. The last mine, everything was really big. Even today, driving on the Trans-Canada Highway where they're blasting and making new areas through the mountain passes, you can see amethyst, like veins of it, and you can tell people have been chipping at it. So this mine has a lot more white stuff that I'm seeing compared to the purple. Just looking around for some more pieces. I'll show you everything I end up getting when I do get home. Alright, we're pulling up to the neighbor's mine, which is a 1-minute drive away. They got a bunch of big rocks set up here. I'm not going to purchase any big rocks. Maybe I'll grab one on the way home, but I don't want that in the vehicle for the week that we're up here. It's a bit tight in this car, so I gotta move everything to the front seat when we sleep in the back. And I don't want to have to lug a bunch of rocks back and forth every single night, but I can deal with it for a couple nights on the way back. Hey everyone, today we're at one of the amethyst mines in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Look at a cute chipmunk. It's so tame. It's used to people feeding it. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't have any food. Just want to try to pet you. That's so cute. Wow, what a nice picture of it on top of the amethyst. Beautiful. Look at this, everyone. There's peanuts in here for them. Look at that. Let's go hand them one.
Oh. She knew what he wanted.
Yeah. Watch him fill his cheeks.
That's on my nose. Are you there?
I don't have any more. Storing that away for the winter. Oh look, there's the neighbor's mine. They're right up against each other. This mine said you probably won't have to work hard. They did a few blasts last night, so there's a lot of new stuff available. It looked like the mine we just went to next door was kind of picked out. So I guess when they do a blast, they'll be the one with the better things. Let's take a look around, see what we find here. There was a lot of very veiny pieces at the neighbor's store. The ones here are more, I'd say, like sine waves in through all the rocks. See what I mean? They're all different designs. But the pieces at these two mines, compared to the mine we went to a couple weeks ago, more of them are smaller pieces, but they're held together better. I mentioned in my original video I got a couple of the bigger garden rocks, and I wasn't going to put them outside in the garden. I was going to keep them inside because I was afraid winter might pry the crystals apart. These ones seem a lot more solid than those. There's quite a bunch of trails to walk and look for stuff. And tomorrow we're going to go back to the mine that we went to a few weeks ago because they have bigger crystals, which I think would be better for rock polishing. But we're also going to try some of these to see if the rock and the crystal stay together through the polishing stage. So we just came down this hill. It goes up here. It goes down here. They give you a couple tools here to move some things around. Imagining every time they do a blast, they just spread a little over the top so things people want don't get buried. Let's see what's down here. This pit has a bit of walking to do. They're all unique in their own way, and this mine is only a 1-minute drive from the neighboring mine and 25 minutes from the other mine, which we were at 2 weeks ago, and we're going to go back in the morning, we decided. So, them all being 25 minutes from each other, I'd recommend if you come here just for this, just go to them all. Because you get totally different pieces from different sections. Do not enter this part. You can see how they were digging up the vein. A part of it there. The vein is up there. Someday they'll probably tear that down too to get in there. This stuff doesn't seem as fresh. It seems like people have picked through most of the good stuff. But we're going to walk the loop and we'll end up back up there. We have about an hour until they close, so we're not going to rush to try to get to the other one. But I'd say the one we're going to visit tomorrow has the least walking you got to do. This one probably has the most, which I kind of like. I think this is some of the area they may have just blasted last night, they were saying. Got some pretty good fresh looking pieces in there. The guy next door was using CLR, I think it was. You know, the stuff you use for getting rust stains out of concrete. He was soaking it and brushing them off, and it makes them super shiny. The pieces that are all rusty here, he was explaining how they form, and that's part of the process, and you can clean all that stuff off. And the ones he cleans off, he'll sell for significantly more for doing all the work. That was pretty cool. He even had chunks of rock with pieces of gold stuck in it for sale. Because apparently there's also diamonds, gold, and silver also coming out of these same places. Down here in the more recently dug up area, we're finally starting to find some good stuff. So down in here, we found some pieces. Look at this one. It's got inside there's. I found this one. It's got a bunch of good layers, and they're very abrasive. I think that'll clean up really nice and be purple. This one's got some good layering to it. And most of this you're just getting the piece of granite with it. And there was one piece I found that was kind of small. It had a little bit of silver, I think, mixed onto it. It wasn't mica. I regret putting it down because I have no idea where it is. I'm gonna look over here a little bit. This looks a bit shiny. I think we're the only ones here at the moment. It's getting kind of late towards closing. Some of these things just glimmer really nice in the sun. Definitely better pieces around here. This section has some really good pieces. Look at this one here. Look at that piece, that's really good. Hunk of granite, but look at that side of it. We might actually fill the bucket at this mine. The bucket's $40, and that's probably half full now. The tools are just in there. We only got a couple pieces at the neighbor's mine. We spent $10 there. But that one looks like they haven't done a blast in a little bit, so it was mostly picked clean. But here, there's some really cool pieces. Look at there's a lot of purple down in that one. Looks really good. It says you're allowed to break pieces off that you want. Well, look at that chunk there. Look at that thick chunk. Yeah, this one's really nice too. That one's got a lot of it on there to rock ratio. Look at that design right there. That looks really, really cool. Wonder if that would stay together in a rock polisher. It's really cool looking. Look at this piece. It's almost square. Beautiful. We're going to try to clean that up with rust remover. Oh wow, look at this one here. That one has a lot of character to it. It's even got a crevice full of it. And this one here, look at that. There's a black one. And this one's got a vein in it. Look at that. Alright everyone, it is the next day. We're coming back. We'll probably be there at the mine for 3 p.m. We didn't go last night. We didn't have enough time to go to the third mine, which is called the Panorama Mine. Right here, they are making this into a divided highway. That's what they're building over on the other side to deal with summer traffic, I'm assuming, because there's not much traffic right now, but there was the last time we were up here. That was still tourist season a few weeks back. But last night, we drove a couple hours further north, or I should say further west. We stopped at a rest area. We went swimming in the lake just to wash off. And then we realized while we were swimming, there was a few leeches in there. I got one on me, but I found it very quickly before it attached, got it off. Then I sudsed up and I jumped in the water, like 10 seconds, scrubbed out my hair and jumped right back out. Because when there's one leech, there's usually a lot more leeches. But the water up here is still very warm. It just recently got cooler, the weather, and next week it'll probably get warmer again. Alright, looks like we're taking the next turn right here where that trailer is. And now it's a dirt road going to the Panorama Mine. This is the one we went to a couple weeks ago. And now, after visiting all 3 mines, I think there's a reason to go to all of them. They're all a little bit different as far as quality. This one here seems to have the biggest crystals at the cheapest cost. This place also seems to be more expensive based on when you fill up your bucket with pieces you get out in their pits. This one seems to be more expensive, but it also is probably a little bit more quality. The one we went to last night had a bunch of pretty good pieces, much smaller crystals. The smaller crystals seem to be more well held together. The bigger pieces here, like if you've seen the video where I bought a couple really large pieces last time we were up here, they're very nice, beautiful pieces, but they seem to crumble pretty easily. So I wouldn't want to keep them outside in the winter or anything. I feel like they'd break apart pretty nicely. But the smaller pieces just seem more solid. And the first place we visited yesterday didn't really seem to have very much available at the time. I think that's because they haven't done a blast in a little bit. But they had some different pieces, like veins of it through the rocks, which were unique, but a bit more expensive. I got a couple nice pieces last night, though. I'll show all these pieces at the end of the video once we get them all home. Show you everything I got. But while we're in the area, we're going to check out this one more time, because this one seems to have the bigger crystals, which I want to rock tumble. I don't really want to rock tumble the small pieces. I want to rock tumble some of the big pieces, and the other mines just did not have those. We should be there soon. This is going to turn to dirt pretty soon. I remember it was very steep a couple weeks ago. Part of the road has a 10% grade coming up. Here's the steep part of the road. Use low gear. This road's been dirt for a while. It'll change back to dirt. They only paved it to keep it from eroding during heavy rainstorms. Even some of the logging roads in Maine, they paved the extreme hills just to stop them from eroding every single time it rains. I'm sure the other mines would sell you big pieces if you specifically asked, but this one specifically had boulders that they would load onto your trailer or in your truck with a forklift for your garden. They were selling pieces that must weigh thousands of pounds up here. They have really, really big pieces of amethyst for sale. Some of them that just have amethyst on the surface, they don't cost too much, but the ones that are more solid amethysts are the expensive ones. We're gonna start to see that stuff soon along the road. Since this is gonna be on my vlog channel, I'll show the rest of this road going up here, because I know they have a bunch of awesome pieces that are gonna be lining the road pretty soon. This is definitely the biggest of the 3 mines, and they have a lot of stuff. The mine is the biggest. We're almost there. Yeah, both the other mines had very friendly chipmunks. This one I didn't see any at. This one's more of a bigger store. More expensive things in the jewelry cases. Very expensive pieces. Some of the other places did have some expensive pieces, but they were more like off-grid private stores. The one we visited yesterday, the guy there was very, very nice. That's probably the friendliest place we've gone to in a while. He had the chipmunk in there. He was telling us all kinds of stuff about the rocks and how they form. He gave us a good education of that stuff. He talked about why he opened the mine. He said they pull lots of gold and silver out of there too, along with the amethyst. He said there was a perfect place to start a little off-grid camp and start a mine because he has a history in explosives and his wife is a diesel mechanic, so they started that place up there. Doing lots of road improvements. If we were up here maybe a week later, these trees would probably be at full peak. All these birch trees are turning yellow. It's really, really beautiful. All right, these are the pieces. These are the giant pieces they have for sale, where that backhoe on the left would load them into your truck if you wanted one. See these big pieces? I'll get out and I'll show some up close, but they're mostly rock, but each of them have a bright purple surface on them, perfect for a garden, and way too big for someone to just walk off with if you were gonna put it like in your front yard if you lived in the city. The garden rocks they sell in there, like I bought last time for $100 a piece, they probably weigh maybe 30-40 pounds. If I put that in the front yard of a city house, someone's gonna walk away with it. I know when I used to live in the city, all the garden statues, everything would just disappear randomly. People walk off with things. But, okay, some more really big pieces. Some awesome pieces next to the door I also want to show. They're not as crowded as the last time because tourist season has ended. It's also a dreary day. It rained this morning for a little while. It's not as warm. It's probably going to rain again in a couple of hours tomorrow, and the next day is all rain. This might be the only dry period we get to walk around at this mine, but I definitely want to show you something. They have a lot of awesome pieces here. So we actually came up to do some kayaking with the cooler weather. We camped on an island. I'm sure I've posted that video by now. Camped on an island nearby. It got really windy. It blew us to an island that we didn't even intend on going to, but thankfully by morning we were able to leave. Look at this garden rock. Look at that. How beautiful that is. They sell these things depending on the weight and quality. Lots of little pieces there. This one has really, really dark pieces, which are more valuable, but they also may have cleaned that. The guy yesterday showed us that you can polish this up, like this stuff here, you can clean that up and it'll be purple with rust remover. Those bigger pieces like this, I don't know, this would probably be like a 10 grand piece. That's a big one. And some of them have far less. It's mostly rock. There'll be cheaper pieces like that. I'm sure those ones down there are probably the cheapest of the cheap pieces. They have some really, really cool machines down there. Old trucks, old generators. Awesome. And look at this piece here. Look at that piece. Look at how big those crystals are. They're like the size of footballs. Look at that. They got more over here. And these pieces, half of them have changed since a couple weeks ago. I'm wondering if that means they sold them or not. I love the patterns of this one. These ones, there's some black crystals, white crystals. Some areas you'll find green ones and yellow ones. This one must have been out here for a while. It's got lichen growing on it. But probably the most special one is, look at this one by the door. Wow, look at that giant piece compared to my shoe. Huge. Another huge one. Another impressive one right over here. And we're about to go into the gift shop where they have the super expensive pieces. But out here they have the tables with the $25 pieces, $50, $75, $100 pieces. And over here, even bigger ones they didn't have available last time, maybe a couple hundred a piece. Then they have like $5 pieces. Then you go out there, get buckets. You can walk around there, a couple acres of scrap like we were yesterday. We're gonna do that today, but they have a lot bigger pieces in their scrap. Good for rock tumbling. But let's go on in. So see, here's some nice pieces. I'll make sure these signs focus in if anyone wants to read it. It's a lot easier to film a video here this time because last time it was super duper packed with people. And here you can see how they break the rocks apart to expose the beautiful amethyst. Massive pieces here. I just asked the lady if the pieces behind me are for sale, and she said it's the same kind of pieces that they just threw out over in the field for people to pick up. Those ones there, they're not going to sell because they need some stuff to tumble over the winter time to sell, because the place here, they close down in a couple of weeks in October, and they're going to need some pieces to tumble and polish up in the winter because they sell lots of jewelry and higher grade pieces over inside of their shop. Some old tools. Let's go take a look inside their mine. Look at that. Down inside that crevice, some good amethyst. I was also exhausted the last time I was here, so I probably didn't get as good of a video. That video I'm probably not gonna post because I'm gonna do it way better today, show more stuff. I wonder if they call that the $1 million truck because it's made them $1 million over the years of hauling all this stuff out of here. Wow, look at that. They have hit the mother lode. Look at that. Look at it all down there. They hit a really good vein. And look how big the mine is compared to those houses. By far the biggest mine. I wonder if that lake down there used to be the mine and it just filled in with water. Probably not. Pretty cool place. And up here into the truck. Old beat up truck bed, carrying a lot of weight over the years. If anyone wants to pause and read, that's why I'm making sure everything focuses in. Now it's time to go over there, try to grab some pieces, take a look inside the old truck. Look at all these pieces. There are quite a few pieces around here. Look at this where they're spraying over there. Look at all that purple where you just grab a bucket and then they weigh it. So the other two mines, half a bucket's $20, full bucket's $40, same price. This place isn't by how full it is by the weight of anything you grab out here. But the bigger pieces on the tables aren't by weight, they're by quality. That deep purple piece, great for rock tumbling. Get it all.
Just a rock.
Probably the best quality stuff here. That vein that they just struck I showed down in the mine. So like even these sharp pieces are going to come out very smooth if we tumble them. I'm just going to try to grab some of the deep purple and even black, which is just super dark purple. Like that.
Gotta make sure. We're here for a reason. I understand. Spray the rocks off. I didn't question it.
There's a ton of dark right here.
Okay.
Go over there.
No, I'm sorry. Right here. No, you got one right there that's real dark purple.
So I got a bucket here of the dark purples. And down here, this area is not as dark. There's a lot more lightness, but the purity of everything here. Over there is where I just got the purple. Now these are not as purple, but there's so much of it everywhere compared to the other mines. There's just so much more density of it here, 20 minutes away. And that's the same vein 20 minutes away. It's just I guess a better section of it, depending what you're looking for. This area doesn't have very much of the small stuff like I was showing at the other mines. But they do have a few pretty cool pieces like that. Look at that piece. Super duper cool stuff for a garden. There's some white small pieces, or an aquarium. This looks cool. Some of it even kind of resembles coral. Look at that. Look at the black stuff right there. Black crystals in there. This mine says not to hammer it, right?
Yeah, don't hammer it.
Yeah, you can't chip your own pieces off here. They don't want you to. It's probably an insurance reason. Like one of the mines mentioned yesterday, they used to allow people to bring power tools, but insurance found out and said, no, you gotta stop. You see, these pieces are not as high quality, but even the super sharp stuff, 1 week in a rock tumbler, it's gonna come out round. After 4 to 6 weeks of different rock tumbling stages, it's gonna look like a jewel. And this stuff isn't super expensive until it's polished. What we do with the polisher at home makes it something a lot more valuable, like they have in their shop here. Most people with rock tumbler are only going to go to like 2,000 grit, but this place will use up to 10,000 grit, super polished stuff that they're selling in their shop. Still purple as far as the eye can see. Look at that. Then it just goes all the way up in there. That's where we went a couple weeks ago. There's not as much rock here, but everything's higher quality. Like yesterday we were walking, they had acres and acres at the other mines, and it was in some areas 12 feet thick, the piles we were walking on. But yet the purple was so scarce at those other mines compared to this. And these mines will ship this stuff out all around the world in rock shops, even in my area. My area, it's probably a 20-hour drive, 40-hour round trip to get here and back. Shipping it there, it doubles in price, like in rock stores. But by going here, it's significantly cheaper, these pieces. Like last time, the couple $100 I spent on the bigger pieces, they give you a discount the more you buy. Probably would have gone for triple that if I bought it in my area's rock stores, just because of the shipping and having to make sure it doesn't break on the way there. Last time we were here, this was the best of the best pieces. Imagine just scooping up some of the teeny little pieces and using it as aquarium gravel. That would probably look so cool. See, I got these nice dark, deep purple pieces. These ones here have more whites in them, but for tumbling, sometimes the white mixed with the dark actually will look pretty cool. So I want to get a few of those pieces too. Now the white ones I'm not really bothering for. So amethyst is a type of quartz with the 6 sides. Now I can get white quartz anywhere in my area. You find it everywhere. We even found some red stuff in my area. That was pretty cool. When you wet it, it makes it look beautiful. After rock polishing it, it'll look like this purpleness all the time. Ooh, there's a really purple patch up in here. Look at that. And this is what it looks like dry. There's a ton of it up here. Wow. I wonder if this is mica. That piece got some red rock and mica. That could even be silver. Yesterday, the other mine had some pieces with real silver and gold mixed into it. That is a pretty cool piece. I might keep this one. That might be silver, or it might just be mica. This one too. Wow. Some of these multi-tone ones are so beautiful. Look at that. But the bigger crystal ones seem to be more fragile. Like you can break these pretty easily. It just comes apart. They're also very sharp. Look at that. Maybe silver. I think it's about to start raining or misting. Look what's quickly coming over in here.
I found one with the 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Look at the inside, it's purple. If you use rust cleaner, that would also turn purple, but I kind of like that. Kind of like it looking dark and irony. Awesome. Keep that in your bucket for now.
I'll find you one.
I have not found one of those yet. My bucket right here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
When was the last blast?
Maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh.
So we've just been cleaning up since then, and this is kind of just some of the last. We're gonna kind of come into the end for the end of the season. We use lots of water, so once we start to get cold fingers, we say, let's head into Thunder Bay.
Another one with the 6 points. It's
That
kinda
one's a lot
chipped.
more purple.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But they'll clean up and we're gonna wash them off before we go in and weigh them. It looks like the majority of the good stuff is down here. But I want to take a walk up top because I didn't go up here on this visit yet. You never know where there's something cool looking buried even slightly below the surface of these piles. But I want to take a walk up in here, see what we got up on top of this hill where they're dumping stuff. I'm also trying to find a little more. So wow, they haven't blasted since before last time we were here. They're just cleaning up that huge vein they touched, they just said. Ooh, it's too big of a piece, but there's some of the green stuff I was talking about. It's a little greener. I would love to find a smaller piece of the green stuff to try rock tumbling. The white stuff I'm not too interested in because you can't tell. White amethyst and just regular white quartz look the same when you tumble them, and I can find white quartz for free in the rivers near my house. But the rusty stuff, the big rusty crystal looks really cool, but this stuff you can clean it with rust cleaner, like for bathtubs and concrete. Just looking around for a rock tumbling piece of green stuff. And I might be in luck because I do see, here's a smaller piece that I could buy and chisel with a hammer at home, but that's not as green as what I'm looking for. But I think I'm in the right spot. Here's that vein. Just keep on looking down. That one's got a little green in it, and it's got a spider friend in there. Here. Carefully put you down not to crush you. Make sure that part doesn't crush the spider friend. Just the slightly tinted green ones I'm not really interested in, but sometimes you find when it's a little darker, I'm not sure what makes it green. Maybe it's iron, like this one's got a slight green glow, but not too much. And quartz and amethyst, they say, is slightly radioactive, but don't worry, it's no more radioactive than a banana, just ever so slightly. Ooh, that one's got a little bit greener in it. Or maybe I'm just seeing the reflection through it with the green clovers next to it. Nope, I think it's still greenish. I'll keep looking around up here. This is a interesting looking piece too. I don't know why I'm whispering. The nearest person's hundreds of feet away from me, so I don't think I'm going to bother anyone. This one is probably the greenest of the green I've seen so far. Yeah, it's got some green in there. I want to find a small piece of the green though. This one is promising. You're not supposed to break the rocks here, but no, it's not going to just be that easy. We're in the right spot. Look at this. It's got some green. It's got some yellow in it. There. That's a nice piece that I could hammer and chisel at home. I'm actually going to take that piece and hold on to it at the moment because it's the greenest one I have seen so far. There's even more green ones. Maybe this one's even greener. God, that's not a spider. I'm gonna hold on to that one still for now. We're getting into another very, very purple area. Most of these are pretty damaged, the desirable part, but I think I'm gonna take this piece. I'll smash it when I get home so it'll fit in the rock tumbler nicely. And we'll see if it keeps the green through the polishing. So it's going to take me all winter to polish the rocks I have. I have one batch from the rocks I found in BC and Yukon. Those rocks, it's going to take another month for me to get some of those through their final stage. They've already been in a couple of weeks as of now. So by the time I start tumbling amethyst, they won't be ready for a couple of months. If I happen to not be home for a couple of weeks, I'm going to pause everything. So rock tumbling, once the grit wears out, which is usually about a week, you could leave it on tumbling for months. It's not really going to get too much smaller. It's just going to waste power at that point. Oh wow, that one's got some green in it. Nice. That's got some greens in it. Think about that one, because I don't think they'll charge too much for these bigger ones on the side. That's probably the greenest, but it's huge. This one's also got some green. I see more greens. Actually, maybe I can forget about that green one because I just found a whole lot more smaller green ones. But are they as deep of green? Let's go look at that one I just had. So there's a lot of green ones over here. Is this the one? Nope. Is this the one? I shouldn't have put it down because I'm never gonna know now. Oh, this is it. I think this is it. It's got some purple, it's got some green, it's got some rust. It's got a good variety in that piece. Because it's not as pure, they probably won't charge as much for it. So I did find a couple green ones I'm gonna get. The lady over there asked me about the green ones. I said I'm gonna try breaking and polishing. Now they're looking for some pretty green ones too. Look at this. A lot more of those beautiful pointed ones. Nice points. Those are the most valuable, but they charge by weight. This piece is pretty cool. Look at those. Very dark purple area compared to over there. Look at this piece here. This will be an experiment. Will this stay together through a rock tumbler, or is that going to fall apart? We're going to find out. I think I'm going to also try tumbling one that has some purple, some white, and the red rock. And this one here's got the yellow, but that's just rusty. That would turn white. And look at that. Look how it zigzags right into the rock with some black in there too. That one's pretty cool. It's got a lot of mica in it. And take a look at this one. I want to see how that one polishes up without the mixes in it, or is it just gonna degrade?
I'm gonna check out the other.
Amethyst is sharp. I don't know if this is someone else's, but that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. Kind of looks like concrete, but would it fall apart like concrete when tumbled? I don't know. Alright, now I'm going to clean off everything that I've selected to make sure we want them. I don't think I need to clean my big piece. Sometimes other people will have left pretty cool pieces too. Like those, none of those we selected. People just abandon pieces if they don't want them on the table, and then they eventually just throw them all back. This is pretty cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
Mama with 3 cubs. It's a little blurry being that zoomed in, but I can definitely see them. One just crossed on the left, there's 2 on the right. Bears.
See the bear?
Yep.
That's what arrowheads and stuff were made of. So cool. 9,000 years ago. They dated that local university studying that material. They were over here trying to get in my house. Oh, geez. Those 3, the one of the babies. And then the mom and dad kind of get out of them away, but they've been hanging out for a couple of weeks there. And blueberries.
Alright everyone, so they weighed all that stuff, and because we bought a lot and because they recognized us from last time, they reduced it. Like, it came up on the scale one time as 17 pounds and they just charged us for 8. They did that with each time they weighed it. They weighed both the buckets and the bigger piece I found. So that was nice. Came out, what did I just say, 186. And what's that? I think that's my shocks. But in American money, that would be 30% less, so that's probably like 120 or something. I'll have to look on my credit card statement when that comes out. I'm hoping the bear's still here. He was just here a minute ago. I wonder what I'm hearing right now. What's that? Why is the car making that noise? Is that the bearing? It's been making a few weird noises since I drove through some water the other day. But this car is at 387,000 miles, and the bearings were screeching like crazy 100,000 miles ago for like a couple weeks, and it just magically stopped. I don't know where the bears went, but this is about where they were. Will we see them? I don't think so. They ran into the woods. They're afraid of the cars. Alright, I'll show you everything once we get home. Break up this journey into a couple of days. 20-hour ride home about. That is if you do go the speed limit. What are they looking for? Pieces of amethyst out here? That was a pretty rugged golf cart. Almost an ATV-like thing. This road also has a little lookout tower of Lake Superior, which we're going to stop at Lake Superior on the way back also, because they have a lot of very beautiful rocks. A lot of the rest areas you can just park there overnight, and you don't need to pay for a campsite or a motel. I don't want to go to a motel. I got kayaks on the roof. I'm too afraid someone would steal them if I'm not sleeping in here. Lookout tower for Lake Superior. With the fog, I don't think we'll be able to see it today. Earlier today we saw the Sleeping Giant, which is an island with a few mountains. It looks like a human laying down on their side. We'll try to see it. Okay, it's got to be coming up because it's at the top of this hill, and there's the sign saying grade ahead. Here it is. A new view of Lake Superior's Black Bay. Photo op. Oh, yep, it is clear enough you can see it. Out there is Lake Superior. And I think, is that Sleeping Giant? Maybe.
No, I think we passed it a long time ago.
Okay. Time to go down the big hill. Downshift a little bit, I guess. It's not a sunny day, but this mountain's beautiful. The lower cliff is bright red and the upper cliff is just regular old gray granite. Looks really nice. We're on the highway. Maybe we'll be able to find one of those veins of amethyst going all the way up the wall that they had to blast through for the highway. I saw one on the way here. I'm trying to find it now. I just want to show this nice bridge we're about to go over. probably sleep tonight in the wilderness. There's lots and lots of logging roads up here. And tomorrow we'll look at some of the beaches. Look at the awesome layers of rock on the left side into the mountain they carved out to make this road. Really, really nice. There's even fences up there to stop boulders from rolling down. Lake Superior has lots of nice rest areas with free beaches. There's also some campgrounds. I want to stop at one of them because I want to try this new tent I've never used before. It's called the 3-second tent. I want to see if it's a gimmick or not. It has mostly good reviews, but there's also a handful of bad reviews that say it goes up real fast, but it's a pain to take down by yourself. I want to see what's true and what's not with that tent. So we'll maybe stop at an actual campsite, or maybe we'll set it up on logging roads tonight or tomorrow night. Because logging roads are more likely to have more firewood around if we wanted to have a camp. Because it finally rained. Finally rained. Nothing's going to be too dry. So that means we can have a little fire. Because the rules up here, just like in my area, you need a fire permit to have a campfire unless it is raining, drizzling, or there's snow on the ground. This is a really scenic road. I think I probably drove by it in the dimmer light, or I saw it on the way up. It was on the other side. It would be on the left side of the road now. I'm trying to find that vein. So every mountain pass like this I'm driving through, I'm going kind of slow, but I think I missed it. I missed the vein of Amethyst where it looked like people were trying to hammer it out of the mountain. Very, very scenic road up here. I shouldn't have shut the camera off because this was 30 seconds up the road. Look how beautiful that is. Lake Superior. There's a lot of small uninhabited islands near the edge too. I kind of want to kayak and sleep on one of them. There's also no houses on these shores, so that's probably relatively easy to do. Alright, I just pulled down this road here. Someone else is set up here for the night. I guess we will go to the rest area. This is like an abandoned section of the road. And campers and RVs will sleep on these abandoned sections. So yeah, I actually just went past the rest area. I saw on the way up here that I wanted to look for rocks because they have a nice rocky beach. And it's very scenic because there's a whole bunch of waves crashing. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna put on a hoodie because it's a little bit cooler, but this is one of the old sections of the road before the new modern one that they have straightened out. Because back in the day, roads used to just zigzag around, go up very steep hills, but now they knock down mountains, fill in valleys, make it as smooth and as straight as possible. But right here, there's a nice rest area with a rocky beach. Lake Superior has a lot of very nice rocks for rock tumbling. Okay, we're gonna take a look. We're the only ones here. A place like this will fill up with motorhomes at night, especially ones like this that don't have no overnight signs. These rocks are very pretty too, even the ones they put here. But let's go take a look at the little rocky beach, and look at that, there's some ravens right there. Very beautiful place. Next week will be warmer again, in the 70s or in the lower 20s Celsius. But this week it's a bit chilly. A lot of the rocks around here, great for tumbling. They're already basically gone through the first stage of rock tumbling. They're already kind of polished. And the ones that are wet, you'll get to see their true beauty. Look at that. And when you rock polish them, they'll look like that permanently, even better. Really beautiful red rocks. Nice sandy area. This is like the ocean today. I kind of want to take the kayak out here with nothing important in it. I've never flipped a kayak in my life. I'm not trying to either, but I feel like this would be kind of fun kayaking through these waves. You always go into the wave. Yeah, I would get wet though. It would crash over the bow a little bit and splash me, that's a fact. This is so pretty, these rocks. I don't know if the camera is showing, this is bright pink rocks and red. It's really pretty here. Alright everyone, we're backing up because there's a bear down here. I got the off-road light on the hood of the car, it's a magnetic one. Really helps. There's a bear. Where do you see a bear?
Oh, it's gone now.
Alright. But anyways, we're out today looking for moose on some of the logging roads up here in this area. The portable off-road light works great for the car. See? Makes a huge difference. It just sticks to the hood. At slow speeds, I'm not worried about it, but if I was driving these really fast, I'd be afraid of it losing strength and going through the windshield. It's big, heavy metal light. I'd put it on the roof in that case. Oh my gosh, there's a moose right there. And it's got big antlers. Oh my gosh, another car is coming. It stopped in the road. It's running back towards us. I've never had that happen before. Trapped between two vehicles, the moose, and when there's headlights it can't see off to the sides. Good morning everyone. We just stopped at this little pull-in. It's just a dead end right here, but there's some pavement, so this may have been an older road at one point. It was a good place to spend the night, and there's a trail going down to Lake Superior to a nice beach. And there's this still moving river. This might be a good spot to bring a kayak down. It looks slow enough that we could even fight the current, but we're not going to. We're just gonna take the trail here down to the beach. There's a trail right here going down to the beach. It's probably like a 5-minute walk. There's a good amount of woods right here. I always love going to beaches where a stream or a river enters the ocean or the lake. It's always a fun spot, especially to swim, but it's a bit chilly this day. Very nice trail. I bet this is packed during tourist season. When we were here a couple weeks ago, all these parking lots, you didn't even want to go down them. There was so many people around. Ooh, look at that. It's a friendly squirrel. It's actually a pretty big beach. People have camped here. There's a big burr on the tree. Yeah, there's a lot of area to go looking for rocks. Yeah, there's where that river enters. A nice pool where there might be some creatures hanging out. The lake is really calm compared to the other day. Too bad it's not hot out. That'd be a good spot to probably swim out to and jump off of. A lot of these rocks have green on them, and that's not algae. That stays through the rock tumbling. It just gets a lot prettier. So many pink rocks with stripes around here. Yeah, this is very still water going up to where the parking lot is there. Be easy to get back out of here with a kayak. There's just a slight strong current coming out of there. Look at that. I can't believe it didn't erode wider. It's pretty cool. See if there's any creatures. This is cool. It's completely natural, this teeny little bottleneck. Look at that current going all the way out there. That'd be so fun in a kayak getting right through that current. Got some ducks over there. And I found a rock that Big Egg White would appreciate. Really beautiful spot. This kind of reminds me of those videos where someone finds a pool and they dig a trench and it just gets wider and wider. The comments are going nuts saying you're destroying things, but yet every high tide rebuilds it out. Especially the underwater rocks look really pretty when they're wet. Alright everyone, we are below Lake Superior on Highway 69 in Ontario. We've been waiting an hour, and now they just told us it's going to be at least another 4 hours because of a bad accident. Let's see how long this road goes. It says we're 60 or 96 kilometers below Sudbury, and you see all these big gaps in traffic. It's because everyone just shut their cars off at this point, and those gaps are from people turning around and no one else is moving up. But let's see how far this goes.
These are the rocks we got at British Columbia along one of the beaches at the rest stops. If you want to see. Each has different designs. See, look at that one. Let me find an interesting one. Ooh, this one's pretty interesting.
And this is mostly what we think is jade. Some of it's probably
not.
different.
This one looks like a
No,
robin's egg.
I think some of that's definitely jade. Not the later ones, but those darker ones.
So these are all going back into stage 1 because they're imperfect. And once I fill these barrels up, I'm going to add more rocks to fill it up to the needed, I don't know what to say.
So as they get smaller and you have more space, you're going to add a few in?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what they look like before they were polished. And that's what they look like after just step 1, right? And what do you have in the other tumblers that are going right now? Do you remember?
No, I don't. Actually, they're just random rocks from Rock and Beach.
Okay. That's from Fife Lake in Saskatchewan.
Ooh, this one's really pretty.
Let me zoom in on that. Alright, so these are things from when we went out west, and I'll show you the things we just got from Northern Ontario. And in the future I'll try to make a video of some of the rocks that are just around the lakes in Maine. Some of them are pretty nice and polished too. So you got here 4 barrels running on these machines.
Charge, move! Move! So we're adding step, no! We're adding step 1 grit, which is 6090 silicone carbide. And we're adding about 2.5, maybe just 2 big scoops. Close that up right away.
Right here are a bunch of the rocks that we got at the second mine. These are all from Lake Superior, except this one shiny one right here was from New Hampshire. It just happened to be in my car. These ones are from that first mine we went to. They're actually pretty nice. This one's white. Look at this rock from Lake Superior. It's got crystals inside of it.
The green rocks are unakite. The green and red. I'm sorry.
No, just show.
This one? It's a point and it has Amethyst is so beautiful, honey. I want to keep going back there. It's so fun. Oh, another point. I'm wondering if this broke. It's like a wand.
here are some of the completed polished pieces of amethyst. And these right here are some random pieces of quartz we found on a hiking trail. All polished up, really nice. Look at those nice lines on that one. Came out really good. Kind of looks like an ear. Alright everyone, these are my tumblers down in the basement. These ones have been going for 9 days now. 9 days is the maximum you can put this one on. And it stopped moving less than 24 hours ago. And you know what? I'm going to show you what it was doing 5 minutes ago. Yeah, apparently the myth is true. When these things stop, if you shut them off, because sometimes I'll pause them for like an hour or something if I'm filming something, just to make the noise stop. That's okay. But because this sat for the better part of the day, it stopped moving, it turned to concrete. So when I turned it back on, it was like whoomp, 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 because there's a big solid part of it now. So is that going to come apart easily with the garden hose, or is it actually going to be like concrete? We're going to have to find that out. We're going to bring that outside. So I tried to run it again to get it to maybe loosen up, but after 10 minutes of it continuously doing that, I don't want it to damage the motor or anything, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So this one stays moving indefinitely. I moved it far away from the wall because it does get hot, and one time when I did pause it, it didn't start moving again by itself. And if it did that because of a power outage and I wasn't home, that could start a fire if it didn't start moving again. So that's why it's away from the wall on a concrete floor. Anyways, we will bring that outside, open it up, and I'll show you what's in these. So this right here, this is on step 2 of Fife Lake. If it looks good enough, I will bring it up to step 3 today. But I also might run it overnight with just water and dish soap to clean it up a little bit. Then we'll start that tomorrow, possibly. So this one is still on step 1. That's been on step 1 for nearly 3 weeks now. And now we're going to see if that can proceed to step 2. Also, if these do go to step 3, we're going to put some ceramic beads in there as a barrier because there's less space in there. You want to fill that space a little bit, and we'll use ceramic beads for that. So, eventually over the winter time when there's snow everywhere and I can't find new rocks, I will start polishing these pieces. I gave you an example of those rocks earlier that my girlfriend polished. These can polish up quite nice. I didn't bring many home from Superior myself, but we will tumble those at some time and see how they turn out. This one right here was beautiful. Let me wet that. It's really beautiful when it's wet, and I want to shine it up. Over here are some more of them. These ones I don't intend on smashing or polishing. They look pretty nice. I found this really, really nice one here at the Diamond Willow mine. That's a very, very pretty piece. That was $60 Canadian. Now this one over here I got from my mom. This one here was a bit pricey. It's a nice polished egg. It has multiple crevices you can see deep inside of it. Nice and super polished with a little stand. And I got a pig nose for my mom's dog. This bigger piece here I got at the Panorama mine a couple weeks back. And this one a couple weeks back. These ones they sell as garden rocks, so they're a bit cheaper for their size. But I keep them in the house as a decoration because I'm afraid winter is going to smash them apart, since these have never actually encountered a winter. They were deep underground where it doesn't freeze. So what do you think? I'm just going to keep them in the house. But these things, when you drive them 40, 50 miles away from the mine, they basically triple in value because we got them from there. You go into a rock shop anywhere around here in New England, you're going to pay a lot more than what we got these things for. And here's a pig nose for my mom's dog. Look at that. Pig nose. Originally, I was gonna give one of these to my mom, one of these bigger chunks right here, but I thought maybe she wouldn't want something so big and heavy. These are each 40, 50 pounds, so I got her that egg right there instead. I'll still give her one of those if she wants, but they're kind of heavy. Got this one here, which is a lot less purity. It has a lot of white in it. It has a little bit of purple there on the side. It's a nice rock. But we could probably clean that up with CLR rust remover. That'll be an experiment for me to see how well I can clean that up. I have a slightly smaller piece that's also a little greenish like that. I want to smash and put in the tumbler over the winter. I can't find it. I still got to clean out my car from the trip. With a lot of bedding and stuff in there. I'm sure I'll find it. It's the greener piece I showed you earlier in the video. I want to break that and put it in here. Now let's go ahead and bring all these outside, see what we got inside. All right, I didn't look yet. I want to be surprised just like you guys on the camera. I just opened these up in the dark, popped them all. Now let's see what's inside of the one. It's like concrete. Huh. All right, it's barely held together. It's held together a little bit, but we got lucky. That could have settled and became a lot worse, so nothing destroyed. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Over here. Oh, there's the foam. I was about to say, that one already deflated. Look at the foam in there. Look at it. It's very, very foamy. All right, we're going to clean these off really, really well. And it's going to get pretty hard to do this soon because we had one night they said it was going to get down to, we had a frost advisory when I was away, and they said it was going to get to like 33 degrees or 0.5 Celsius. We definitely got a light freeze because it killed all my tomato plants. Every single one in different parts of the yard got killed by it. Nothing else got killed though. Just the tomato plants. So we did officially have a frost, and that was back on the 15th of September. I think that's the earliest frost we have ever had, and now it's starting to get warm again. We're also in a drought, so all the trees are like a month early. They're all dropping their leaves already and turning bright orange. So I think I'm going to shut off all my sprinkler timers tomorrow since the garden isn't really going to do much more this year. But I'm going to leave all the frog ponds circulating their water until it starts getting super cold out, probably at some time in October. So the rocks do get slightly smaller as time goes on. Let's clean those up. I'm just going to tip it sideways while I'm spraying in there. Once I get them nice and clean, I'll put them back in here. Then I will do that one separately because it's at a different stage. All right, we're back inside with the light so we can see it a bit better. Those look really, really shiny after nearly 3 weeks on step 1. So we'll let it go to step 2 now. Get even better. See, there's a lot of space in there compared to when we started. And the tiny little example rocks that it came with have got really small. But I really want to see this one with all the square pieces get really shined up. So yes, this is going to go on to step 2 for a week. And the ones over here are just going to run overnight with some soap in there, if that's even necessary. Maybe I won't do that, because they're very, very nice. Wow, they shined up so good. These ones stayed behind because they were a little bit rough, but I guess it's just the type of rock, because the few of them that have problems didn't really improve too much. Some of these got really, really smooth. These are all from Saskatchewan. I'm looking for in particular one that was really, really pretty. This one's super duper pretty. Look at that. From Fife Lake in Saskatchewan. That's gonna look beautiful, all polished up. This is the one I was looking for. We got this one from a glacial river. That is gonna shine up really nice. You could literally see the glacier that the freezing cold water was coming out of that I found this in BC. Alright, try to do this evenly. Some people say to do the soap thing. I'm gonna go ahead and try not doing it, but we are going to add the beads, and we're going to proceed on to step 3 now. I'll put all these covers back on, and this one will get step 2. All right, everyone. We just went ahead and put a couple tablespoons of step 3 in each of those, and a couple tablespoons of step 2 into here. You see they look different. That's a bit bigger of a powder, more aggressive. This is very fine. And then step 4 will be super fine. Now we're gonna add some ceramic beads just to fill the extra space, because there's less space, or there's less rock in there taking up space, so we're gonna add some of those. And we're gonna add the rest of them over here. I'm gonna have to probably get some more ceramic beads, but those wear down very slowly compared to the rocks, so that'll go for a while. But yes, I do need to get more. Now we'll fill that up with water until it's almost underneath completely. Then we'll put them back on for a week. And all my rock tumbling videos will be on my second channel. I know I'm posting this one both places just because of the interesting mine footage. So this is how filled we want them to be. I'm gonna go ahead and put the covers on and get them started back up. Alright, they're going again. If anyone was wondering, when you open those up, it smells like kitty litter. That extra fine powder, when it's wet, it smells like kitty litter for some reason. Alrighty, we will see what those look like in a week. We'll be able to make lots of shiny, shiny stuff over the winter with everything we just got from the mine. I'll order some more ceramic pellets. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. I'll give an update on my aquarium on my other channel soon.